Well, getting up there and meeting the community, they love this team, and they were so welcoming to myself and Coach Heath when we went up there, and they just want to help in any way that they can, and that's to the players too.
Darren Banks is the next head coach of the Kenai River Brown Bears. He shares what it means to see the community rally behind the team on this installation of NAHL. He first catches us up on what his summer has looked like since being named the next bench boss.
Yeah, it's been really busy. I think anytime you transition into a new role, there's going to be a lot of things. So from moving out of Albuquerque to all of our camp prospects, our Prospects Challenge, our Alaska camp, our main camp, it's been a lot. And, the new staff has been great. The existing staff has been awesome. So it's been good. It's been really busy though.
Absolutely. And talking about your time in Albuquerque, the past 3 seasons you have served as the GM and also the head coach of the Ice Wolves for their 3HL team. How has that experience of leading that roster prepared you for this next step of leading the Brown Bears this upcoming season?
Well, I just got to learn from really great people in Albuquerque. I was really fortunate. Before Albuquerque, I was in Minot with a great ownership group and a great staff with Shane Wagner and Cody Campbell. And then going to Albuquerque, being around Phil Fox and then ultimately Kevin Hartzell and learning from them was a fantastic experience. My biggest takeaway from there was just the people and the staff. They were great. And so we had some really awesome teams with some good players. And so kind of taking that into the Brown Bears is the people come first, right? And so all of the staff, from the people that we met in Alaska to the staff that obviously is onboarding with us, it's just been fantastic. And so we're excited to get to start working with the players here in a couple weeks.
Absolutely. And still reflecting on your experience with the New Mexico Ice Wolves in the NA3HL, the Ice Wolves made the playoffs every season that you were leading the charge. With this past season, the team making it all the way to the Fraser Cup. What were some of your biggest takeaways, and ultimately, what are the lessons you're hoping to bring into this upcoming season?
Well, we had a really strong culture in Albuquerque, and that came from the players and the values that they held. And so I think one thing that I'll always remember about those teams, that we were never out of it. It didn't matter the situation. We were always going to fight and come back. And the culture that's been established in Kenai, I think, is obviously every culture is different, but I think that core motto of we're never out of it and we're going to compete really hard is there. I think the values that the players have is fantastic. And Coach Shaw and Coach Weisler over the last several years, they've just done a great job, and we just hope to continue with what they started.
Absolutely. And while talking about the Brown Bears are one of the longest running organizations in the North American Hockey League, heading into their 19th season. What about Kenai River stands out the most as an organization, and ultimately a city to play hockey in?
Well, getting up there and meeting the community, they love this team, and they were so welcoming to myself and Coach Heath when we went up there, and they just want to help in any way that they can, and that's to the players too. So really, you're going to have a first-class experience from your rink to the guys at the gym to the brand new facility that's going in next to our rink. With all the training stuff they have in there, it's just you're going to get a really great experience. And I know the biggest worry for me going up was, like, Alaska's a long way away from Texas. But actually the travel, like, you're flying everywhere. And so your travel experience is really good. Rather than being on a bus for 15 hours, you're on a plane for 6. And so I just think the player experience and everything that Kenai has to offer really makes it a special place. But again, it goes back to the people that are up there and just how ingrained this team is in the community and in the Kenai area.
Absolutely. And for yourself, while talking about player experience, you have a special connection to the family of leagues. You played a few games in the North American Hockey League and also played in the NA3HL. With having the experience playing in both leagues, what are some of the biggest changes you have seen from the league from the time you've played to now coaching?
Well, the pace of the game has really kicked up. When I played, and the guys can tell you from practice, I'm not that fast. So the pace of the game is really the biggest difference. Everybody now can skate and they have skill, and and so I think when you're looking at all the Alaska teams, like they really embody that style of being able to move and put pressure quickly. So I really think that's the biggest difference from even 5 or 10 years ago to now. Is just the skill and the pace of the players. Just across the board, and that includes the NA3 too. I think that league is even better than it was 10 years ago.
Absolutely. And with the North American Hockey League priding itself on helping athletes secure college commitments and being able to take the next level of their college, or excuse me, with their hockey playing career, what does it mean as a coach to see those athletes be able to realize these goals?
Well, that's the best part of the job. Is these players have to go through a lot, from all the training that they do in the summer, because now everybody trains in the summer, so they got to train all summer and go through training camp. And these players, they play 2, 3, 4 years of junior hockey and a lot of games in a lot of places, and they can kind of, during that time, like, what are we doing all this for, a little bit, and then when they get that college commitment, and all of that work is kind of realized in a tangible way. It's just a great day, and it's not only a great day for that player, but it's representative of the work that the entire group has done. And so, I think any player that's committed, they give their credit to their teammates first, and it's really a group effort. And so, the better your team is doing, the more eyes that you have on you, and with that, the more opportunities that everybody gets. And so, when a player gets committed, obviously we're very happy for them, but most importantly, like that whole team. It's just a way to show all the work that they put in over the course of the year. So and you know what? This year last year they had several players commit out of Kenai. We're excited for more.
What drives you as a coach?
It really started with helping players, and that evolved over the years. When I was getting into this, it was just about trying to help hockey players, and that kind of changes a little bit, and then eventually it goes, well, how do you help players the best? And you have to create a culture, and what does that culture look like? Well, it's got to be an elite culture, and what is an elite culture? And so then you build on all of those things, and so for players to be able to be a part of a group where they love coming to the rink every day, they're excited to work. Obviously, it has to mean something to put on our logo, from the way that we dress coming to the rink to obviously the way that we perform on the ice, and then when they leave there, they're proud of what they did. And so, if we can help guys, and then it's not me, it's everybody involved. An organization isn't one person, from the billets to the assistants to everybody. And if they leave there and they're proud of what they did, and they learned a little bit, and they don't make some of the mistakes that we made when we were their age, that's really what we want. And I'm just so excited about the group that we have coming in, and hopefully us taking a good step this year.
Well, talking about the group coming in, what has impressed you the most with some of the athletes you have seen, if that's returners or new guys that are possibly going to be on that roster this upcoming fall?
Well, they have quite a bit of experience, right? They were a young team last year, and so they've been through the rigors of junior hockey, and I think when you look at the culture that they put in place, it was a really tight-knit locker room. And as I called every player over the course of the summer, and I've talked to them, they talk about that, the brotherhood in the locker room, and how much fun they have with their teammates. And so I think all of those things are really positive. And when you look at kind of from an assessment perspective, I really like the speed that we're able to play with. I think that we should be a pretty quick team this year and be able to pressure well. So just the combination of the culture that they established through the previous staff and the returning players, and then obviously the skill and speed that they play with, I think are two things that I'm excited for this year.
Yeah, and kind of looking ahead, how would you describe your coaching style, and what can people in Kenai River expect from how you coach?
Well, I think you separate it. That's the first thing you do as a coach. When you're on the ice, you need to be intense, and we're there to work. And then when you're off the ice, you're just a human being, and excited to live in such a great community and experience everything Alaska has to offer. So, from myself to Coach Heath to the rest of the staff, we want to bring intensity every day, but we also want the players to know that they're doing all of this for a reason, and we are excited to come to the rink every day. And so if you have intensity, you have some fun, usually that's a good recipe to start off your year.
Well, looking ahead again, what are some of your big goals heading into the season for the Brown Bears?
Well, we just go one page at a time. That's really the thing that I try to look at is we're going to go into training camp and we're going to have a good first week of camp, and that's where we begin. And so, do we have goals for the team? Is the team going to have internal goals? 100%. But we just go one step at a time, and we're excited for training camp in Breezy Point here in a couple weeks.
With your assessment of the North American Hockey League, what makes the NA different than any other junior league?
Well, I think number one, the footprint of the league is really cool. Like we go from Alaska all the way to the East Coast to the South, and every division brings a little something different. I'm fortunate to have been able to see the Central Division and in a different level, but the South Division, and now moving to the Midwest Division. Every division's a little bit different, and it's all great hockey. And I think the league has really progressed just in a little time I've been around it. The coaches are fantastic. There's obviously a lot of coaches I look up to in the league, and I just think that the league overall, the competitiveness from all divisions and kind of the parity of it is what makes it stand out.
I know you said that you're excited for the travel, getting the opportunity to fly with the team, but what are you looking forward to most for this upcoming year?
Getting back on the ice. I mean, the summer's great. I love mountain biking and doing all the outdoorsy stuff, but getting back on the ice and getting back to work. I mean, practice to me is it's just there's nothing like it. The ability to artificially tick up the pace, in the way that you design things. So I can't wait to get back to work with the guys and just be again working on hockey, and that's. By the end of the season, you're kind of ready for summer, and then the end of summer, you're right back ready to jump on the ice. So that's I'm really excited for training camp.
Absolutely. And in a few weeks, we'll have the greatest show on ice returning to Blaine, Minnesota with the NA Showcase. What are you looking forward to most with the Kenai River Brown Bears at that event?
Well, the showcase is a lot of fun. There's so many scouts in the building, and everybody being at the same location, and being able to interact with all the other coaches. I think it's great for networking, and most importantly for the players, the ability to have their hard work showcased very early on of what they've been doing in the summer. I think it's great for recruiting, and guys go in. Obviously, the first day of the showcase, there's some nerves that they get out, but we're excited to be able to be in front of everybody and see where we're at as a group, and just compete as hard as we can.
Well, Darren, I appreciate you taking the time today to chat with me. And we're excited for the start of the season in your first year as a head coach with the Kenai River Brown Bears.
Awesome. Thank you so much.